Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Carroll here from MyMMAnews.com, bringing you Carroll's Corner MMA podcast. Thanks for joining me tonight. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Make sure you visit MyMMAnews.com for your number one source for MMA news. Be sure to follow me on social media. You can find me on Carroll's Corner MMA on Instagram. You can find me on Giblitz77. That's Jiblitz 77 on Twitter. So follow me there. I'm just going to hop into a few things right away. We're going to start talking about the NCAA Big Ten Conference Championships. I'm getting ahead of myself. Cleveland comes soon for the National Championship, but right now it's the Big Ten Championships. And let me tell you, Ohio State put 8 guys in the finals, which was pretty impressive. Penn State had 5 in the finals. But at the same time, they also had a couple guys forfeit to injury, fell to 6th place. They will qualify for the national championship in Cleveland, so don't be counting Penn State out of anything yet. They're still in it. We're also going to talk about a little bit of MMA, the UFC card 222, and then we have a special guest coming on, LFA fighter Nate Jennerman. He's going to be a special guest. He's fought his 4th fight Friday night on the card. He had a big win. Not rear naked choke, but he did have a choke. I believe it was triangle choke, and big win for him. So he'll be joining us around 9:35. So be sure to tune in for that. He'll be Skyping us. But real quick, this is Carroll's Corner MMA podcast. Be sure to follow me, check it out, enjoy it. Tell me what you think. If you have questions, comments, be sure to comment below. Otherwise, I'm just going to be going through, talking about some stuff. Like I mentioned, Ohio State won the Big Ten Championships with a score of 164.5. Penn State trailing right behind. Like I said, they had a few guys that fell to the bottom because of injury. Jason Nolf, a huge one that probably would have competed for the title. Probably either would have won it or took second at least. Big guy, scores a lot of points, but he dropped to the bottom, so it's a big loss for Penn State. But they finished number 2 with 148 points, allowing Ohio State to claim their second Big Ten title in a row. But Michigan, I think, is the big story in this tournament. They round out the top 3 with 118 points. They put several guys in the finals, some big wins by their wrestlers. Adam Kuhn was their big wrestler that they had, that everyone was waiting to see, in the I guess you could say the feature match of the night, as he wrestled Kyle Snyder. But Ohio State, like I said, they rounded out the top with 4 big victories, 4 Big Ten titles, including Nathan Tomasello's 4th title of his career, becoming one of 16 wrestlers to do that ever in the Big Ten. They had claimed 4 titles. This evening, they had actually 2 wrestlers. Aymar was also included in the 16 wrestlers to ever win 4 Big Ten titles. But he's also the only person to ever win a Big Ten title and be coached by someone who won 4 Big Ten titles. So he won 4 Big Ten titles. His coach won 4 Big Ten titles at Illinois. So pretty impressive, pretty cool to see. But like I said, Nathan Tomasello, Joey McKenna had a big win for his team, and then Colin Moore, and then you also had Kyle Snyder, who I believe it was 4 overtimes in the second or third sudden victory, he came through with a big takedown at the end to capture his 3rd Big Ten title against Adam Kuhn. So Adam Kuhn never secures one. Definitely deserving of one, but you got to get in there. But don't be surprised if you see these two wrestlers in the finals at Cleveland for the NCAA championship. They're 1-2 in the country at heavyweight. Kyle Snyder, we all know, the decorated Olympic gold medalist. He won the youngest Olympic champion, youngest American Olympic champion, youngest world champion, and also 2-time NCAA champion. So, and a runner-up. So Kuhn's kind of always been, that championship's always evaded him. He took 2nd his freshman year, or sophomore year, excuse me. He's always placed. 3-time All-American. The rocket scientist, the future astronaut, possible NFL. Let me tell you, the NFL should definitely think about scooping up. He's a guy that's capable of blocking. Usually walks around 300, cuts down to 285 to wrestle. He's a guy that, he wants to play in the NFL. He could definitely do it. So that was an entertainment match, probably the best of the finals, I think. But then you also had Bo Nickel with a big 7-5 victory over Martin. Now, Martin in 2016 at MSG defeated Bo Nickel when they were both freshmen. And then they've kind of gone back and forth a little bit. Bo Nickel's kind of had the edge on the majority of the wins, capturing another national title for Penn State against Miles Martin. So possible rematch this year for the 3rd time in a row. Definitely a bit of rivals between the two, the Nittany Lion and the Buckeye. It's definitely a great matchup. And then at 165, I mentioned Isaiah Martinez out of Illinois, capturing his 4th Big Ten title. And he won 4-1 over Vincenzo Joseph out of Penn State. So if you haven't checked him out, definitely go watch it. It was on Big Ten Network today. 3 hours of college wrestling finals. Can't beat it. Some of the greatest stuff there is. And then I think a big win for Michigan was Pintello. He had a big 3-1 victory over Mika Jordan. He's kind of beaten up Mika Jordan throughout the year. I believe it was his 3rd win over him. But still captured a huge Big Ten title for University of Michigan. So go Blue. Anyone who knows me knows I'm a big Michigan fan. But and congrats to the Michigan men's basketball team as they captured 2nd back-to-back title in basketball. So big ups to them. But like I said, I'll be joined by Nate Jennerman, LFA fighter. Big win, his 4th fight in LFA, 3-1 in the league. But he'll be joining me at around 9:35. I'll get him on Skype. He'll be joining us. He's 11-3 in his career. Awesome guy. Another guy at a Rufus Sport teammate. Jordan Griffin fought last night as well. I know he had another teammate fighting. So I'm looking forward to getting him on here and chatting with him and talking to him a few things. So like I said, if you guys got any comments or questions or anything below, definitely shoot a message in there. I'll get to it, talk about it, whatever it may be. But before I get into the whole interview with Nate and other stuff, I want to big ops to another Wisconsinite is Zach Otto. Zach Otto had a huge win over Mike Pyle. Guy was going for his 42nd fight, looking to end on a high note. His career, I believe he had like 14 fights or something like that in the UFC. Insane longevity. He was 42 years old. But Otto had a big win over him, cracking him in the first round, dropping him, and then jumping on and piling it on, so he couldn't really do a whole lot. But yeah, it was pretty cool. Big ups to him. So um, definitely entertaining to say. So congrats to Zach Otto. Also earned his black belt in Jiu-Jitsu, which is pretty sweet. It was awarded to him right at the end. So if you have UFC Fight Pass, they're on there right now. Go check it out. Uh, he got his black belt at the end of the fight after a big KO. So like I said, check him out. There's 3 fights on there that you want to see. They're entertaining. The first one with Johnson was pretty entertaining. It was back and forth. It was a grinder. Listening to Joe Rogan might have been the best part, talking about Bird, the judge, bashing her and bashing a few things. It was pretty entertaining between him um, and Dan Cormier. So, good stuff. Definitely check it out. It's pretty entertaining. So, and then I'm going to jump over to Frankie Edgar. Frankie Edgar is a guy who, uh, as you can see on the screen, the stats, he's total fight times over 6 hours, or 6 hours and 27 minutes and 49 seconds. And then he has over 1,300 significant strikes and 67 takedowns. Last night, he got demolished by Brian Ortega, who definitely looked like the bigger fighter, the bigger competitor. He looked like a middleweight fighting a featherweight. And at 145, 155, Frankie Edgar has always been one of these guys who doesn't really have to cut a whole lot of weight. Watching him get in there and put it together like he did, he might be wanting to call it quits because he didn't put anything together. Let's be honest. The guy struggled. He got hit with that vicious elbow and then that uppercut that everyone is talking about. I think he was everyone's saying 2 inches off the ground. I saw a photo where there's actually clear air through between his feet and the canvas, so you could see him up in the air, which was pretty entertaining. But like I said, it was something different. So um, he he's a guy who's been in there with over 6 hours of fight time, never been knocked out. He had all these accolades that everyone talked about leading up to the fight, and now his record 21-5 is now 21-6 after getting blasted through space and into Mars. Um, if there's life, if there wasn't life there, now there is because he got shot there. But you know, didn't even get out of the first round, which I think it's a toll on number of shots he's taken to the head throughout all these fights. 6 hours and 27 minutes is a ton of fight time. So I really believe that him taking all these shots, I can't see anyone disagreeing. That's a lot of fight time. That's a lot of shots to the head. So um, yeah, it's pretty nuts. So that is no more. He got pretty blasted to Mars, but we're gonna get to Nate pretty in just a couple minutes. So just hang with me. I'll be right back, and we're gonna try and get him on the call. Sorry about that, guys. Right now we're trying to get him on the Skype line. I don't know whatever reason. I don't know if it's my computer or his or whatever it is, but I'm trying to get him on. Um, so let me try one more time, and I'll be right back. See if we can get him on here. I can see you. Awesome. So we're gonna get you here up on the screen. I appreciate you taking the time, man, to sit and talk with me.
I appreciate you having me on, man.
Awesome. So hey, we'll just dive right in. One, congratulations on your big victory on Friday night. How's it feel to get that win?
Thank you. It feels good to go out there and get the W. It feels especially good because I wasn't feeling my best out there. Um, I got I got sick last week. It ended up making the weight cut hard on Thursday, and then Friday was tough in the back warming up. I had cold sweats, stomach was killing me. To still go out there and you know perform pretty well. Not up to my standards, but to go out there and get the win and the finish was really good. Like I said, I wasn't happy with my performance. I haven't gotten to see the fight yet, but I know how I felt in there, and I didn't feel myself. So I was glad to get the win and get out, but I would have liked to have performed better.
No, you sound pretty upset and beating up yourself, but you walked away with a finish in the third round. I know it was a little later than you probably wanted, but it's a finish. Adds to your tally. Now you're at 8 finishes, I believe, and improves your record to 11-3, and you're 4-1 or 3-1, excuse me, in the LFA. You got to feel pretty good about that. You're walking around on a 2 fight win streak now. Um, you got some big things coming up. What's next for you? What do you want next?
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, moved to 11-3, and I've got 9 finishes now, and 3-1 in LFA with 3 finishes. Um, so, honestly, I would love to fight for the LFA belt. Um, that's something I've got my eyes set on. If that's not next for them, um, if the UFC Contender Series calls, I'm down for that. UFC's coming to Chicago in June, and then they're more than likely coming to Milwaukee in September. If they need some Midwest talent, I'm right here and I'm ready to go. Um, been seeing some of the 45ers that have gotten to call up lately. I don't think that they're as good as I am, but hey, they're doing their thing. They made it. Happy for them, but I'd be happy to come in and send them right back out.
Now, like, you're talking about that. Do you get a little frustrated knowing that you fought at one of the premier promotions in the region in Milwaukee at NAFC, and then you caged aggression, and then now LFA, who's put last night at UFC they put 29% of the fighters on the card. Talking about Ortega, O'Malley, Dern, and then like what does that mean to you? Like, do you believe you deserve that shot?
Yeah, I think I do. I think there's a couple other guys on our team that deserve it as well. I think a lot of the guys down here at Rufus Sport are ready to go. We got a room full of killers, man. We're all ready to mix it up with the best in the world. But like you said, LFA sends the most people to the UFC, so I'm in the right spot. Just gotta wait for my chance.
Definitely. You're talking about the Contender Series. You possibly UFC's coming into town. LFA belt. Um, who how do you go about training? Because you come from one of the premier gyms and probably all of MMA at Rufus Sport. You got the list goes on with the amount of guys you train with. What does it mean to you and to have a gym like that and a supporting cast?
It means everything. Our team is, so close knit. It's not like like there's other teams that have more guys in the UFC, but the guys don't live there at all. Like they travel there for their fight camps and then they leave. Um, we've got a couple guys that come in and do their fight camps by us, but the majority of the team lives right here in Wisconsin, so we're there right away. Like I'll probably take most of this week off to just kind of heal up a little bit, but I'll be right back in the gym. Um, Paul Felder, Anthony Pettis got big fights coming up April 7th that I want to help out with. Emmanuel Sanchez is a huge fight April 28th that down there co-main event for Bellator in Chicago. So I'll be helping out with him. Craig Eckelberg has a fight coming up soon. The list goes on. There's a lot of guys fighting real quick. So I just want to get right back in the gym and help these guys get ready.
Definitely. You're talking about your teammates, Paul Felder, who's got a big fight coming up against actually a Long Island guy from my neck of the woods. Tell us a little bit about fighting with your teammates. Last night, Friday night, you fought with your teammate Jordan Griffin. I know you had another teammate as well on the card.
Yeah.
What's it like having your teammates on your side and on the card with you?
Honestly, I've had that luxury the last couple fights to have at least one or two teammates fighting each time. This time there was three of us fighting. Um, it's nice because then like if those last couple pounds that you got to shed off before weigh-ins, somebody's there to help you out and be in there with you. Even just being at weigh-ins, there's a bunch of other fighters around from other teams. Your opponents mean mugging you from across the room sometimes. It's nice to have people there in your corner ready with you. So it's nice, and it's really nice when you all get victories. Because then we just get to feed off each other's energy and keep the night moving smoothly. Zach Plessa started it off with a first round sub um, to start the night out for LFA. It was on the undercard because he's an amateur, but that brought a lot of energy back into the locker room and ready to go.
Yeah, you got the three of you guys had a clean sweep in submissions Friday night. I know Jordan had kind of a comeback win with a sneaking an armbar and finishing off his opponent. Um, so let's speak about, I guess, your submissions. You have 8 submissions. You're out of your 11 fights, only 1 KO and only 2 fights gone to decision. How important do you believe that is in order to longevity in your career? You already have 14 fights.
Yeah, they actually have that messed up online, and I don't know how I got that, but I actually have 9 subs
Oh, okay.
and no KOs. But yeah, I like subbing people. Um, I thought I was gonna get the knockout this time, but man, John Duvall was tough. I landed a really nice right hand, and I think it was the second round. And then, to be honest, I got on top, and even though I was sick, I was dropping some brutal elbows from his guard, and he was just taking them off the dome and still fighting. So yeah, I like getting the sub though. I feel like the sub is a little sweeter to me, just because you know, a knockout happens. It's your body naturally shutting down. Um, that's that's under your own will that you quit. So I think they're a little sweeter, but the fans really like to see the knockouts. So I can't wait to start getting some of those too. Been working a lot of pads lately with my boy Scott Cushman and Joe Nichols, and we're cracking them. Um, the knockouts will come. They're just not quite here yet.
Definitely, definitely. And I remember watching your interview with James Lynch, and you were talking about how you believed your wrestling was better, and you believed the grappling game was going to be your edge, and it seemed like it became to that. What makes you so confident in like your submission game and your grappling game compared to some of these other guys who they come from a lot of jiu-jitsu background, but you guys walking in there and just choking them all out?
It's different. My opponent is a brown belt in jiu-jitsu, and all respect to him. And I'm only a purple belt, but we don't take our belts in there. Um, you know, this isn't IBJJF. Like I don't have to only go against purple belts now. It doesn't matter. Yeah, I've been in there. I mixed it up with a black belt before, who couldn't submit me even though he had a couple deep subs. I guess the whole MMA aspect of it is what changes it for me. I think when I can start hitting you, and you got to start worrying about my long arms with my elbows, then I can sneak in chokes a little easier sometimes. You just got to worry about other things, and then I'm sneaking it in there. The triangle came because he tried to pass my guard, and he left his elbow in there. And the moment I seen it, I was like, I'm a triangle him right now. Popped his arm in there, and I put that triangle up, and it was all over from there. I mean, it didn't take long once I had that thing wrapped up that he was tapping out.
Definitely. Now we talked about earlier and briefly discussed it, about your next whether opponent, whoever it may be, depending on what promotion, wherever it may be. When you see guys like Sean O'Malley, who's very like outspoken, wild, kind of all over the place, does it kind of make you want to, I guess, step out of the realm of kind of who you are and kind of act kind of a little crazy like some of these guys? And just Rufus Sport, like I've said, you guys have a stable of talented fighters, but you're all very humble and I guess quieter. So maybe sometimes like the recognition, like from the I guess from the basic fan base doesn't usually find you guys, but like the real fans, I believe, know you guys are there. Like, do you think you have to change who you are a little, or no?
No, I don't think I have to. Some people um, have called me cocky before. I don't really think I am. I think I'm very confident in my skills, and I got a more of a quiet sense of confidence with it. Like when you start talking to me, like yeah, I think I'm gonna win every fight. Um, and a lot of some people might take it disrespectful, like when I was talking about the John Duvall fight, some people were like, yeah, he like says he respects him, but then says he's gonna beat him everywhere, and it's like, well, what do you want me to say that I think he's gonna beat me? Like, I'm not going in the cage thinking that my opponent's gonna beat me. That you're already beat before you get in there. Then,
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, I mean, sometimes it's like, man, if I just talk all that crap, I'm gonna get bigger. It's like I could do that, but that's not who I am. People are gonna see that. So I just let my fights do the talking. Like you said, I'm 11-3, got 9 finishes. I know what the hell I'm doing out there. Um, so I'll just keep doing it my way, and I'm gonna get the call eventually, and I'm gonna put the division on notice once I get there.
Definitely. Well, Nate, I think I appreciate you taking the time to talk about your latest victory, and wish you the best of luck in the future fights. And we hope to hear from you fighting in either the UFC Contender Series or LFA title fight.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I hope it happens soon.
Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate you for jumping on, and best of luck.
Thank you. You as well.
And ladies and gentlemen, that was Nate Jennerman, LFA 34 excuse me, featherweight. Nate just won his fourth fight, or sorry, Nate just won his third fight in LFA, fourth fight in LFA. He's 3-1, so a big win over John Duvall for him. So congrats to Nate Jennerman. This is Carroll's Corner MMA podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed the interview. There's a lot more to talk about. I'm going to bring some other guests on this week periodically. Sundays I'm going to try and do something every Sunday night. Get someone else on here with me to chat up a storm about sports, MMA, just talk about it all. So if you have questions, drop them below. But otherwise, thanks for tuning in, and we're going to peace out of here. And I hope you guys enjoyed checking this out. So have a good one.